Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Profit Talk. As you might imagine, we do this every single week. We do this Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, or daylight time when it's that time of year. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is 8:30 Mountain Time. That is 7:30 in LA, 10:30 in New York. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying the beginning of February. Um, the little fat rodent in Pennsylvania saw its shadow, so there will be more winter. But we knew that already, didn't we? So this week's topic is the tax filing extension trap for private practice owners. Now, I want to talk about this in early February. Extensions basically give you an extension of time to file your income taxes. You can file them for both business returns, which is partnerships, S corporations, C corporations. Um, Two of those tax returns are due on March 15th, by the way. So if you file a partnership or S Corp extension, it's going to be good until September 15th. Your C Corp and Form 1040, which is your household ordinary tax return for you and your wife and all your kids and everything, would be October 15th. So why do it? Why indeed? Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at this. As I said, you get 6 more months to file. Great. But here's the thing, and you got to keep this in mind. People will figure out that they have extensions, particularly if they're new to business, for example. And by the way, this is one of these crossover things where even if you're not a doctor, stick around because you might actually hear something that's helpful for you as well. Any small business owner basically needs to watch this. If you're a W-2 wage earner, great. What happens with every single pay event you have, be it twice a month or every other week, or even weekly or monthly, is that your employer is automatically holding federal income tax withholding as well as your state. If you're in one of the 41 states in our country that has a state income tax, as well as both sides of your FICA, which is Social Security and Medicare. They pay half of it for you, you pay the other half. But now that you're working for yourself, you got to pay both halves of Medicare and Social Security, and you've also got to pay all your income tax. And nobody's withholding it for you. So guess what? You need to do that yourself. Now we've talked about this abundantly over the last couple of years. You need to be making your estimated tax payments. Those are due April, June, September, and January. We're going to wrap up on that, but let's talk about extensions here. So let's say you're thinking about filing your first extension. Um, but you don't know how much you owe, so you just get the extension and great. So you don't have to file. You've got all summer long. You can goof around until fall. If you do not make a payment with that extension, you're going to be in a whole world of hurt. You do not get 6 more months to pay. Basically, the IRS code states that you are responsible the entire amount of the tax that you owe on April 15th. If you don't pay all of it, then you're going to have failure to pay penalty as well as interest on the balance. And if you don't pay any of it, then you're going to have that on the whole thing. It's an ugly surprise when you go to file and you actually end up paying hundreds, even thousands of dollars more than you should have. So that's the big thing about extensions. If you're going to do one, you need to sit down and at least estimate what your tax is going to be. Make a payment by April 15th with that extension. And by the way, it's a Form 7004 for business and 4868 for the Form 1040. So that's the name of the form numbers, but you don't really need to know them because you can Google anything. So not a big deal. Failure to pay by April 15th will get you, okay. Yeah, I just said that. That is the classic double whammy. They're going to hit you twice. The IRS doesn't come to your house and hit you with a cattle prod or whip you. They basically punish you in your wallet, and that is what they're going to do. So why do preparers offer them so much? You may, I let me put it this way. Clients come to me for the first time, and they've had other help in the past, and they say, well, my old preparer always had me file extensions. I was like, do you know why? They're like, no, I don't. I guess they just didn't want to do them. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the reason. So, thing is, if a tax preparer can load up enough extensions, they basically have guaranteed work through September, October, and that's great if they have that kind of business and they're basically doing volume work and tax preparations. Our firm doesn't happen to do that, so we believe, and I'm going to talk about the advantages of not doing that because basically you're living without valuable information for as long as it takes you to get your tax return done. So the downsides of waiting to file. The potential costs and uncertainty are a given because we've just talked about that. You're going to have a failure to pay penalty. You're going to have interest. Both go up over time. So the longer that you wait to file, the more you're going to pay. But here's another thing. Your tax return is a measure of your business metrics. What this is basically like the scoreboard in a sporting event. I like to think of basketball because that thing's floating over the court and you can see all four sides of it. You can bet that both coaches are looking at that thing. You've got to know how many timeouts there are left, how much time's left on the clock, who's ahead, how many fouls you got against you. All those things are important. And if you think of your financials this way, it's a pretty good metaphor. If you don't know your scoreboard, you have a hard time calling the plays. And your tax return is a fantastic measure of how your business did in the previous year, especially if you're an S corporation, because you have something called a shareholder basis that carries over year after year. And you desperately need that information to be able to do well in your business. Uh, Additionally, the increased difficulty of making good estimated tax payments without certain knowledge of the prior year's performance is critical as well. So, if you're making those payments and you're making good estimated payments each of the 4 quarters, um, we'll get to the next thing here. Um, if you have had good tax planning advice, and I spelled advice incorrectly, sorry, for the past 12 months, you should already have your tax paid to within $1,000. Imagine that. If you know that you're going to owe less than $1,000 on your tax, or perhaps get somewhere within $1,000 of a refund, you're going to look forward to tax season more and that tax return as a measure of your business and not as a dreaded responsibility that's like a trip to the dentist for a root canal. Um, you should not dread tax season. You should look forward to it. All of my clients do. Or if they don't, then they're not giving me all the information I ask them for, but that's rare. So anyway, the return you file is a metrics tool, and you should look forward to it with anticipation. With the right advisor, acting as your professional preparer, you come out ahead because you can make decisions based on fact and not on guesswork. And that just goes back to talking about the scoreboard earlier. Um, if you know the score, you can call the right plays. So that is why we firmly believe here. And in fact, I'll tell you our mode of operation. We start as soon as they open e-file season, which is usually the last Monday in January. I can tell you that our firm's business returns are already 1/3 done. We're going to be finished with our business returns in the middle of February, and 1040s will all be done in March. And that's the way it is because all of our clients basically have the information that they need to move forward and have a successful 2026 just as early as I can give it to them. And if you care about your business and your numbers and your metrics, and you want this for yourself, remember, and this is a good wrap up too, we're coming to you on one of three different media here, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. All three of those have this in common. There's a comments capability. You can pop in a word like info or help or please God help me or more information or call me or just whatever. Say tax return even. Just type something into the comments and we'll see it and we'll say, hey, we need to get this guy a link to have a conversation with me directly. I talk to every single one of our new clients. That first conversation is always free and there's no obligation. Just a conversation to find out, hey, would it resonate for us to work together? Can I help you with your cash flow and profit and saving taxes to the degree that you'd like? And would we like working with each other? So it's a conversation that takes between 30 and 45 minutes. And if you'd like to do that, then comment any one of those things that I said, and we'll see if we can do for you what we're already doing for many other people. So it's a great time of year. This is actually our Christmas. We love what we do here. So with that, I hope that you've taken away some valuable information here. Unless you really need an extension, and here's one legitimate purpose for them. There are some, I'm thinking, for example, the financial the brokerages, the investment firms. You take your Edward Joneses and your Fidelity, those kind of guys. I think they have until March 15th to get Form 1099-B out, and they are quite often late. And if you don't have every single shred of information you want to get on your tax return, then that is a good and legitimate reason to file an extension, but you still have to pay all of the tax. So even if you don't have everything, it would be a good idea to reach out to somebody, and here we are, or whoever you like, and at least get the ball rolling. Somebody ought to be able to give you an update on what your tax liability is going to be, even if they can't file the return. So, with that little piece of advice, let me wrap up and say I hope you're having an amazing day so far, a week so far as well, and happy February. And if you have a chance today, do something randomly kind for a stranger. So, until next week, so long, and we will see.